Hello everybody, and welcome back to the channel, and today's video is going to be a little bit different because it's December, it's the end of the year, people are creating lists, they're doing countdowns, and quite honestly, who doesn't love a tier list? So I am doing a tier list today of my year in gaming. But there are rules. There are rules to this tier list. We're not just going to throw things out there. Essentially, these are games that are either brand new to me, as in I've never played them before, despite what year they came out. Don't really care what year they came out. These are games that I played this year that are the first time I've ever played them, or I have created content for them, either through streaming on Twitch or creating a video on YouTube. So there are parameters because there are some games that are on this list that I played this year that were either not brand new or I didn't make content because I do like to play games more than once and I return to games quite often. So I have kept those out. If I do this again next year, there might be some overlap because some of these games I haven't created content for, but I might somewhere down the road, depending on the game and how it goes. So enough of the jibber jabber. Let's just get right into it. I will give a brief synopsis of why I put some of the things where I did. There might be some controversy surrounding some of this stuff, but that's okay because this is just my list. It's a review of what I've done this year. And we're going to start off with a banger. As it turns out, all the pictures are in alphabetical order, so that's just the way I'm going to do it. The first game on the list is Astrobot. And Astrobot, even though technically it should be in need to spend more time because I haven't played as much of Astrobot as I would like to, I am going to put this in enjoyed every minute because this game, if you've listened to anything about 2024, you know that this game has been everywhere. It's up for Game of the Year. PlayStation did an amazing job of taking their mascot in Astrobot and creating this platformer game that gives you like old school feels, but and it celebrates the history of gaming, although kind of with a PlayStation skew on it. But it celebrates all of that, and it just gives you like old-time platform feels, which was kind of refreshing because there haven't been too many games recently that have come out, and it's just the controls are great, the visuals are great. It's just a really fun game, and it kind of, even though the PS5 is, like halfway through its life cycle, it gives you a good picture into what the PS5 can actually do when the developers like use the full amount of its capabilities. I don't know if I said that really well, but it's just a fun game. It's really fun to play. If you have a PS5, and I would suggest trying this game out. The next one up is Chorus. Chorus was a game that I found because every once in a while I have these, I don't know, an urge or an itch to play like space combat games. And there's another game on this list as well that fits into that category. And Chorus was the other one. And I found it on sale on the PlayStation Store. And I took a chance on it and I played through it. I am going to put that in the, it's either not bad or I had fun with it. I think I'm going to put it in had fun with it. It's probably not a game that I would return to. I don't feel like it's a game that I would play over and over again, but I certainly had fun with it while I was playing it. I played it offline. There's no video of it. I didn't play it on Twitch. Haven't created any videos for it. And honestly, I don't think I would. It's fun. I had fun with it. It gets a little repetitive towards the end, maybe. It's one of those games where you think you're driving towards the end of the game, and they keep adding stuff that like pops up that you probably should go investigate and whatnot, um, to power up your abilities and whatnot. It had a interesting but kind of confusing story, but overall, it's fun. It's a game that, you know, I could easily suggest to people to go check out. Um, you know, and it's probably cheap. So if you like space, you know, it's worth the time. It's definitely not something that you won't enjoy. I just don't know that it's a game that I would put on the top of the list and say, yep, I'm going to return to this one over and over again. All right. Next up, we have Civilization 6. And Civilization 6 is a game that's probably going to end up on a lot of tier lists if I continue to do it in this format. Well, maybe not, because now Civilization 7 is coming out, and I don't know how much I will return to Civ 6. But Civ 6 is a game that I've done a lot of content on. I've put a lot of hours on Twitch. I've put a lot more offline. I've played this game a lot. But I cannot say that I've enjoyed every minute of it, because ever since they buffed the barbarians, it the games can get ruined very easily. Even when you're doing everything right, barbarians can come and ruin your day. And I think also the announcement of Civilization 7 kind of tempered my enjoyment of the game a little bit, because I'm like, hey, there's something different coming out. It's something new. Doesn't seem like the barbarians are going to be quite as intrusive as they are. I've had plenty of games ruined because of that. I tried to do an A to Z challenge, and once Civilization 7 got announced, I kind of put that to bed. So I'm going to go ahead and put it in had fun, because I do have fun when I play it. And I've also put a lot of hours into it, and it feels wrong to put it in the not bad category, because honestly, I've put too many hours into it. Like, I think we're somewhere around 650, maybe close to 700 hours in that game. And it feels bad to say that the game is not bad. I have fun with it. That's why I continue to play it. Okay, enough about Civilization 6. Let's move on. The next game up is College Football 25. Technically, this game should be in the need to spend more time with it, because honestly, I didn't play it that much, but it goes right there. It goes in the did not enjoy. There's a reason why I stopped playing Madden and most of the sports games, because they're repetitive, because they don't change much, and then they release a new one every year and charge you $70 for it, or whatever the price is at the time. And I understand that college football came out years ago, and this is the first iteration of it in many, many years, but it's a Madden clone. I'm sorry to everybody who thinks that it's not. It's a Madden clone, and I played it for one weekend, and I haven't touched it since. It just doesn't appeal. There's one mode that I could see myself like getting some enjoyment out of, but I tried it and I wasn't enjoying it, and I put the game to the side, and I haven't played it since. Honestly, if PlayStation had a different kind of refund policy, I probably would have tried to get my money back. Quite honestly, because did not enjoy it, did not have fun with it. All right, moving on, because I don't want to talk about that game anymore. Let's do the Dark Hours. Okay, the Dark Hours. I don't even know if the full version is out yet, but the Dark Hours essentially is a game where you and 3 friends, I think it's up to 4 players, you play, you're thieves, and you are hired by somebody to break into a art museum or some type of building, and you're tasked with certain things that you have to steal. However, each map has some kind of creature, and I do mean creature. It could be a banshee, it could be what they call the there's a monster of some sort that can't see but it can hear, so you have to be quiet and everything. So there's different monsters that show up that try to prevent you from completing your tasks. This game is going to end up in the need to spend more time. Like I said, I'm not even sure that the full version is out yet, but Rampage, Ratchet Rob, and Iro and I, we did a stream of this at one point. We played for a few hours and we had fun with it. There's a really funny clip of me shooting Rampage with a tranq dart and listening to his voice get slower and deeper as he basically falls unconscious in the game. So we had fun with it, but we didn't play it a whole lot. And the weird thing about it, the really weird thing about it, is that the game is not all that, it's not like we're not talking like super graphics. We're not talking like a real intricate type of gameplay. But the resources that it took on the computer would not allow me to stream it without it buffering. So the stream was really, really bad. And I had to stop and start and stop and start. And I don't know if that was because that particular night there was an issue with the internet or if it was the game, because we haven't done it since, so we don't really know. But the time we did have, we had fun with it. But it's very pared down, and I don't think there's a whole lot to it yet. So we'll see. The next one is Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. I am going to put this one in the need to spend more time with it. I got it for my Switch because I love the Donkey Kong Country series, and there's a good chance that this one will end up on the enjoyed every minute of it or had fun with it, because it is Donkey Kong Country and I love it. I just haven't played it enough. But I did play it a little bit at the beginning of the year when I wasn't streaming or creating any type of content whatsoever. So, new to me, and this one for sure, I'm pretty positive will end up being some kind of content at some point. Okay, Elden Ring. Elden Ring is up next. Elden Ring is a game that, if you've watched the channel from its inception, the Twitch channel, then you know how much I enjoyed Elden Ring, but didn't enjoy it. I played the whole game by myself, got to the end, and I absolutely hated the ending. Actually, there was a point previous to that. I don't know exactly when it happened, but there was a point earlier in the game where I just got to I was kind of like, I just want it to be over. I just want it to be over. I'm not enjoying it anymore, because it is a very hard game, especially if you've never played Souls-likes before, which I never had. And that was a couple of years ago. Recently, I replayed it, and technically it wouldn't be on the list except for the fact, because it doesn't fit the criteria, because I didn't create any content for it while I was playing it by myself. However, there was a mod that was put out called Seamless Co-op, and Rampage and I did a few streams of this game playing it with Seamless Co-op. So I'm going to go ahead and, because the second time I played through by myself offline, and then I played with Rampage for a few streams. And I'm going to go ahead and put this in the, believe it or not, I had fun. The second time I played it wasn't as bad as the first. Of course, I created a different build and I played it completely different. But I had a lot more fun with it the second time I played than I did the first time. Because the first time, I wasn't very high on Elden Ring. I wasn't very high on it at all. It was just kind of like, I played it. I was glad I played it, but yeah, it just wasn't for me. Especially the ending. But anyways, the playing with friends and playing it a second time kind of helped that. All right, next up we got Everspace 2. Everspace 2 is the other game that was on this list that was part of my itch to play some space combat games. And quite honestly, I had never heard of Everspace. And I'm actually surprised because I checked my Steam library, and it turns out I've only played this game for 9 hours. So that immediately puts it in the need to spend more time with it. Um, I thought I had played more. I really did. It's a game that seems like it's gonna be fun, but it seems like it's also like a very long game. And once I came back to streaming, this game unfortunately kind of fell to the wayside. And like I said, I thought I'd put more time in it, but I didn't. I've only played for 9 hours. So um yeah, we'll see how that goes. That might end up as future content as well, but we'll see. Next up, Evil West. Evil West, that's a game that understands the assignment. It makes no apologies for what it is. It's just kind of a fast-paced third person type shooter. You play as basically a monster hunter in the Old West. Although you mostly deal with vampires, so you could say vampire hunter. But oddly enough, even though it's in the Old West, you do have some technology available to you. So it's kind of got this, I don't know, like almost like a steampunk kind of feel to it, but not really because it's the Old West. But it makes no apologies for what it is. It's just a gore fest. I don't think, for me, the combat wasn't great, but it is what it is, and you can definitely have fun with it. I haven't actually finished the game, which is kind of funny. I'm very close to the end. I've put almost the entire time into it, but I just haven't finished it. And I think I'm gonna put that in the not bad. I did have fun with it. I don't think it's the greatest game in the world, but you can definitely have fun. And if you just kind of turn your mind off and let yourself get engulfed in the over the top violence, you'll probably enjoy it quite a bit. Okay, next up is another game that really hasn't come out in its full mode yet. Full version, that's what it is. It's the fast food simulator. Similar, well, this game, I think you can play up to 16 people if I'm not mistaken. But basically, you're running a fast food shop. You come in, you order your food that you're gonna need, and then you open the store and you're serving customers. But as of this point, they didn't have the full version of it. It's very pared down. There's certain things that we know are coming in the game, but haven't been released quite yet. So it's a pared down version. Also, because you're playing with friends and it's cooperative and whatnot, and it can be kind of stressful. And I got yelled at, so I'm gonna put it in the not bad. Also, another thing about this game, which should be mentioned because it will come up later, I'm not very good when it comes to mouse and keyboard. Okay, I'm a console player. I grew up on consoles. I did not grow up on PCs. I'm not very good playing mouse and keyboard. So this is a game that is mouse and keyboard. Actually, it does have controller. It's compatible with a controller, but the controllers, I don't know, help in this particular game. Yeah. So it's kind of like, there are reasons that I didn't do as well. And there were a couple of occasions where I wasn't on my game and I got yelled at by my friends. So Rampage, Iro, if you're listening, just know I'm calling you out. I got yelled at. Anyways, Next game up is The First Descendant. Again, another game that technically should be and needs to spend more time, but I didn't enjoy this. Okay. This game is a live service game where, you play as these characters and you can do different missions to unlock weapons and suits and other characters in the game. But here's the problem with it. Here's my problem with it. And maybe they've fixed it since, because it seems like it's doing fairly well. My biggest problem with it was that it gave you like a percentage of like the drops. So if you were doing a mission, you were doing a mission to get something. And each mission has a percentage of like how often something drops. Those percentages are complete and utter bullshit. I didn't play this as much as some of my friends, but they came back and they were talking about how they kept having to do the same mission like 20 times just to get the unlockable. And it had some, like the percentage on drops was like 25%. I'm sorry. 20 times to get one stupid unlock, whether it be a weapon or a character or whatever it is. And if it is going to be 20 times, then put it out there that the percentages are like 1 in 20, which would be like 5%. Don't tell me it's 25% and then make me run through the goddamn thing 20 times, okay? We played it twice and I was like, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. The game's not bad. The gameplay is not bad, but the repetitiveness of it, sorry, you get flunked on that alone. And for anybody out there who still enjoys this game, it's not a commentary on you or your enjoyment of the game. If you enjoy the game, enjoy the game. I fucking hated it. So there you go. Next one up, Forza Horizon 5. Forza Horizon 5 to me is a little bit disappointing because I really wanted to stream it, but apparently the system requirements are too much for it to be streamed, because every time I streamed, it would it would literally shut my stream down. And I tried to lower the specifications on the game. It didn't work. It didn't help. That being said, the amount of time that I've played it offline, I've loved every minute of it. It's a bit overwhelming because there's a whole lot of stuff to do, but I absolutely enjoy this game. I never played a Forza because I didn't have, well, I do have an Xbox, but mostly I play on PlayStation. And this was a game that was never on there, but now that I have a gaming PC, I decided to check it out, and I love it. I love it. I think it's better than Gran Turismo, quite honestly. The cars look great, the scenery looks great, the controls are awesome. It's just a blast. This is something that you can just put on and have a bunch of fun with. If you want, you can go off road and wreck your car and do all kinds of stupid things. And yeah, it's just a lot of fun. And I haven't even put a ton of time into it, but the amount of time that I have, I've loved it. So it gets the top tier on this one. Okay, next up is God of War Ragnarok, but specifically the Valhalla DLC. Okay, so I played God of War Ragnarok on stream when it came out, and I love the God of War series. However, this game, actually, it wasn't just this game. Hades is actually the first one that clued me in on this. But God of War Valhalla or God of War Ragnarok Valhalla kind of cemented the fact that I hate roguelikes. I hate them. I hate roguelikes. The idea of progressing so far in a game, and then if you die, you have to start over, like from the very beginning. And I know you get power-ups and everything, and it makes you stronger. But that idea of like running through the same thing over and over again drives me nuts. It drives me nuts. So, even though I love God of War, the whole series, I love the character of Kratos. Uh, I love the God of War Ragnarok style, the controls and everything. This one, because it's a roguelike, it goes in not bad. Um, I actually did get to the end, unlike Hades, which I never finished. I did get to the end, and I love the story behind it, but I hate the gameplay, the idea of roguelikes. I can't do it. Can't do it. Okay, next up, Grand Theft Auto 5, the game that will not die. Been around since 2013. Obviously, there are a ton of people playing online and playing RP versions of it. I didn't do any of that. I played the story. This was another game that obviously I've heard a ton about, but I have a very complicated history with Grand Theft Auto that I'm not going to get into right now. And I hadn't played one in a while. And so this game was on sale. I picked it up. And at the beginning of the year, I played a ton of this. And I got to tell you, I loved every minute of it. Loved every minute of it. The story was fun. I couldn't get enough of it. I spent hours playing through the story. And quite honestly, this is probably going to end up as content at one point because, again, this was during a time when I wasn't streaming, I wasn't creating YouTube videos. I was just kind of playing games on my own for fun. And this one, a lot of fun. A lot of fun. And I don't think I need to say too much about Grand Theft Auto. The formula hasn't changed much, but I did enjoy the story, and I actually connected with the characters and whatnot. So, yeah, I enjoyed every minute of it, and I'll look forward to playing it again. Okay, the next one up is turning the clock back quite a ways to like 1988 or 1989 or something. It is Gunsmoke on the NES, which I actually played on an emulator on the computer. Um, but yeah, it's an old NES game. I did a couple of videos on it. I played through it. I completed it. And I did it simply for nostalgia purposes. Now, I'm not going to say I enjoyed every minute of it, but I certainly had fun with this one. Revisiting my childhood and just putting it out there. It I don't know if a whole lot of people know a lot about this game. It's a top-down kind of. It's not a side scroller. It's an up and down scroll. Like it scrolls up. So it's a top-down scroll up shooter game, and yeah, it's not very long. The old Nintendo games weren't necessarily long. Some of them were just like super hard. But again, this was purely for nostalgia reasons, and I had a ton of fun with it. So it goes up in the had fun with. Next game up, Helldivers 2. And what can you say about Helldivers 2? It took the gaming world by storm for a number of months in the spring and into early summer. There are probably still tons of people playing it. I know a lot of people fell off from it, including myself. I haven't played the game in months. But there is no question that this game, for sure, 100% ends up in the enjoyed every minute of it. It was a blast to play. For an independent developer, it is a live service game, but it didn't like bombard you with microtransactions. And actually, if you put the time in, and you didn't have to put that much time in, but you could easily grind out the cosmetics and weapons that they dropped every month, and I forget what they called them, but there were packages that came out every month, and it didn't take a whole lot to be able to unlock them, and it was just fun. And playing with your friends was fun. The aesthetic was cheesy, paying homage to Starship Troopers, or yeah, Starship, was that what it was called? Starship Troopers from the 90s. There's so much to love about that game. It's so fun. And it created hours of just enjoyment, and there's no other way to put it. You have to put it up there at the top. If you played it, enjoyed it at all, like I did. I played a ton of it, and yeah, I enjoyed it when I played it. I just haven't visited it in a long time, because the one drawback to it is that after, like, there's two factions. They haven't changed much in the entire time that it's been out, unless there's been something new that I don't know about. And that kind of, like, after a while, it got a little old. But there was nothing like running into a difficulty that you weren't prepared for with your friends and just watching everybody die and scream in pain as we run for our lives. So, had a lot of fun with it. There's a video on my YouTube channel of all the many ways that Rampage found to kill me while trying to kill bugs as well. Which gets annoying, sure, but it's also funny as hell. And that's probably why he kept doing it. So, yeah, there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of fun to be had with that game. Okay, next up is Hearthstone. Hearthstone just recently dropped a new season and went through many changes in what it's doing. And I'm still kind of getting used to it. There's some new stuff. They've taken stuff out. They've added new things. It's a whole new meta, and everybody's getting used to it. And I am a latecomer to Hearthstone. I know it's been around for a long time, but I just started playing this year, and I had a lot of fun with it. It's a card game. Mostly I play Battlegrounds, because that, like, the regular version of Hearthstone is okay. And I had some success, but I think it takes a lot of time and research to find out, like, what cards are good, and it's like, can I get that card? Is it going to show up in a pack, or do I need to spend real money on it? And the Battlegrounds, there's still strategy to it, and there is a learning curve, but Battlegrounds just seems to be the more fun version of it. So as we learn Season 9, I'm hoping to have more fun with this game, and just continue to the time that I've spent with it. I hope I continue to enjoy it. All right, next up, Hogwarts Legacy, which we just completed the series on the YouTube channel. Started off with having my friend, who's not a gamer but a Harry Potter fan, creating a character and playing through a couple of hours of the game, and then I picked up from where she left off. I thought it was a cool idea to do that, because she doesn't play video games, and apparently she got so into it that she went and bought the game. For not being a gamer, she actually bought the game, but she's not anywhere close to finishing it, and I wonder if she ever will finish it, to be completely honest. But it is kind of, it's not a super long game. It's like around 35 hours or whatnot. And I did a ton of this, and I also filmed videos of, like, because the game has house specific missions. I went through and I created characters for each of the 4 houses, and I got to that mission and I filmed those missions. So I played a lot of this, and I think it's a great game. But I'm not going to put it in the enjoyed every minute of it, because quite honestly, by the time I got to the end, I was ready for it to be done. I love the game, and I'm glad that I put the series out on the channel. But I was glad that it's done, and this one is probably gonna get packed away for a while. I probably won't touch Hogwarts Legacy for a good long time, just because I've played so much of it lately. But it's a fun game. I love it. I do enjoy it, but I can't honestly say that I enjoyed every minute of it. Next up is Kena, Bridge of Spirits, which is a game that I'm currently playing as a series on the channel. I love this game. I love this game. I talk about it in the videos themselves that I don't feel like this game got as much credit as it deserves. It's a, you know, it was an independent. They've never created video games before. They are an animation studio, which is kind of why the characters and looks like a it looks like a Pixar movie. But for their first outing, this game is amazing. And as I'm playing it for the videos, I'm rediscovering why I enjoyed it so much when I played it in 2021. It's just a lot of fun. There is a challenge to it, like the combat's not easy. And as I get later into the game, I'm sure I will remember, like, hey, these bosses suck. But the music's great. The story is simplistic, but it's heartfelt and it's very touching. And everything about it is just fun. And I think this game honestly deserves a lot more attention than it got then, and to this day still doesn't get. I don't think it gets enough credit. And so I'm strongly endorsing, like, if you have the ability to get this game, it's just a fun playthrough. It's not very long. It's around the 20-hour mark. So longer than some games, but much shorter than the majority of games that come out. And it's worth the time. So I'm having a lot of fun with it, and it's going to end up in the enjoyed every minute of it. The next game on the list is League of Legends, and League of Legends, without question, gets a did not enjoy. Friends of mine convinced me to download this and play it, and obviously, they wanted to play ranked, and so I had to spend time to get to the point where I would even be eligible to play ranked. And I never did. I never did because after a while, I got bored with it. I didn't enjoy it at all. To the point where I think the last time I opened this game was in April. Or maybe May. I haven't touched it in months, and I have no desire to. It's kind of fun to watch, but there's just so much to that game. There's 164 characters. They all do different things. There's so many abilities and there's strategies. And I'm not saying I'm against that, but it's overwhelming. And it's a lot of effort to put in to play and enjoy a game. And I'm just not, I don't think it's worth it. I know one of the things that bugs me is it's the same map. Same map over and over again. And I just can't get behind it. I couldn't get into it. I tried. I got to level 22 and I bailed. I'm like, that's it. I'm done. I can't do this anymore. The time the amount of time to put in to get good at it is just kind of like, never mind. To me, it's not worth it. So enough of League of Legends. Let's move on to Luigi's Mansion 2. Which I did a few streams of, and then I uploaded those streams onto YouTube. This was another game that I never had the chance to play because I didn't have the hardware that it was on when it originally came out. And then I saw that it got remastered and it was put out on the Switch, and I decided to give it a try, and I'm very glad I did. Nintendo does a very good job with their mascots and those types of games. I'm not going to put it in, enjoyed every minute of it, but I had a lot of fun with it. I'm now kind of replaying it to like get all the collectibles and stuff so I can finish the game completely, because there are secret levels that I didn't put out on stream. But the fact that I'm willing to go through and do that shows that I did enjoy this game. I had a lot of fun with it. It's your typical Nintendo kind of platforming game, in 3D. So just, it's fun. It's a cute little game. It gives Luigi the spotlight over Mario. Of course, Mario's in it at the end, but still, just the type of thing that Nintendo has always done very well. And I mentioned it when I played it, that at some point I will buy Luigi's Mansion 3, and that will probably become content on one of the channels as well. Next up is Star Wars Outlaws. And Star Wars Outlaws is one of those games that stirs up a lot of discussion on the internet, especially at the price point that it came out as. So Star Wars Outlaw, developed by Ubisoft, and a lot of people are just tired of Ubisoft and their bland, formulaic kind of gameplay, open world type stuff. And a lot of people have said that it's not a bad game, but you probably don't want to pay for it at full price. You want to wait until it goes on sale and then kind of, enjoy it that way. If you really want to play it. As it turns out, I got this game for free. So maybe that has something to do with it. I don't know. All I know is that I have enjoyed the time that I've put into it. Plain and simple. It may be what you call fast food of video games because it's just predictable and whatnot, and that's fine. I haven't had any technical issues with it, and my suggestion is that if you're going to play the game, just turn your mind off. Don't think about it too much, because honestly, that's what Star Wars is anyways. Like, when you go watch a Star Wars movie, you're not watching it for great dialogue. You're not watching it for superb acting, right? Star Wars has never had great writing. There's a couple of movies in the series that get praised for the actual the story, but the dialogue has never been great. It's never had great writing. It's never had superb acting. Like, there's nobody that is in a Star Wars movie and then is up for an award. Like, if you're a Star Wars fan, you just have to turn your brain off and just enjoy it for what it is. And that's exactly what Outlaws is. Outlaws is a game that you just, if you forget the fact that it's developed by Ubisoft and that it seems to be formulaic, and you just allow yourself to have fun with it, you're gonna have fun with it. The game itself is not bad. It's not like it's super glitchy, although I think some people have reported difficulties playing it. But I haven't run into any technical issues with it, and I've just had fun. I've enjoyed it. I'm not going to say I've enjoyed every minute of it, but I've put a lot of, for the short amount of time that I've had it, I've put a lot of time into it, and I've enjoyed the hell out of it. So we're going to put it in the had fun category. And I think anybody who wants to play it, that's exactly what you need to do. Just turn your mind off and let it be what it is, and you'll have fun with it. All right, next up is Phasmophobia. Phasmophobia is a hard one for me to categorize because Rampage, Ratchet Rob, and Iro and myself have actually done a few streams of this. So we've put some time into it. And we've had a lot of fun with it. Mostly poking fun at each other, especially my deaths, because I seem to die quite a bit in this game. And so it's been fun. But the game itself is not, there's not a whole lot that you can take from it. It's like once you've seen it a few times, it's kind of the same thing over and over again. The real attraction of this game is playing with your friends and scaring the hell out of each other and possibly laughing at their misery. And that's kind of where it falls. So although we've had fun with it, I think I'm going to put it in the not bad category. Because it's not a bad game. It's not. It's very popular, and it's popular for a reason. But if you're looking at it from a gaming standpoint, it's kind of like, well, it is what it is. You're going to have fun with it because you're playing with your friends. It has created some very funny moments for sure. A lot of them have ended up as clips on my channel. You know, it was used as a incentive for our extra life stream that we did back in November, where I got, I guess you could say, punished because we reached $750 and I had to do the prison by myself. And I died both times that I attempted it, and everybody seemed to have a lot of fun with that. Next up is Pico Park. Without question, I'm not even going to get into it that much. Pico Park, I didn't enjoy. I don't know why games like this exist, okay? I hate these damn things. You know, I get it. It can be funny when you're trying to cooperate with your friends or your teammates to accomplish something, but quite honestly, it's too goddamn stressful, okay? It doesn't take much. Like, these games seem to exist just to piss everyone off. And then once people get pissed off, then the tension rises and it gets harder to be able to play the game. And I hate it, okay? I didn't enjoy it. Sorry, guys. I don't want to play this game anymore. We played it once, and that's good enough for me. I can say that I played it. I'm done. I don't want to play it anymore. I hate that these games kind of exist. I guess it's funny for content creators because somebody loses their shit and everybody laughs at it and ha 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 ha. But actually playing it, no. No, no, and no. Not gonna do it. I'm done. All right, the next game on the list is Power Wash Simulator. Power Wash Simulator was a game that has been around for a while. I never thought of playing, but it ended up as one of the PlayStation Plus games of the month, and so I got it for free, and I ended up playing it at the beginning of the year, and I gotta tell you, I could not believe how satisfying it is to play this game. This is a game that you can just turn on, turn your brain off, and just let yourself sink into the moment and, you know, kind of be one with your thought. I mean, like I said, you turn your brain off, but, you know, it's kind of like you can almost meditate to it while you're playing. It's kind of like one of those games. And cleaning the dirt as you're doing it is so satisfying. Just watching these maps that they've created get cleaned as you go through it. There are times when it's a little annoying because there always seems to be one piece of dirt that you can't find, and you can't consider the map clean until you find it. So that can get a little frustrating. But it's just a lot of fun to sit there and chill and watch these maps, and like I said, very satisfying. So it's not an enjoyed every minute, but it definitely is I had a lot of fun with it. For what it is, it's very simplistic, but it works on some level. For some reason, it just works. The next game up is Harry Potter Quidditch Champions. Another game that was part of PlayStation Plus that I got for free, which was weird because it was on there as soon as it came out. So as long as you got it within the first month, you got it for free. And so I can't really say anything bad about it, but I will say I haven't spent a whole lot of time with it yet. It's just a game that I've played a couple of times. It seems okay. It doesn't seem like it's the greatest game in the world, but I got it for free. So, of course I was going to try it out. But I do think that if I really want to grade it, if I really want to rate it in some way, that I need to spend more time with it. because we just haven't yet. Next up is Red Dead Redemption 2, which is a game that I'm currently playing on stream. So it's just here at the tail end of 2024. It's obvious it's considered one of the greatest games ever created for a reason. I'm gonna put it in the enjoyed every minute of it so far, because I haven't played a whole lot of it in 2024, but having played it before, I know what it is. I know what the game is. There were a lot of people that when it came out kind of criticized it for being what they call a walking simulator, and didn't have a lot of fun with it. I did. The story is amazing. It does take a bit to build into it, but it's just an unbelievable character study. Rockstar does an incredible job of creating their characters, and when they want to, like, if they invest time in it, they do put a lot of depth into those characters, and Arthur Morgan is one of those characters that kind of, it seems like is going to stand the test of time. When people talk about video games and incredible stories in video games, Red Dead Redemption 2 is one of those games that's gonna stand up there. And the character of Arthur Morgan and his journey and everything and his introspection, it's just one of those things that will endure time, I think. And so even though technically I haven't spent a lot of time with it this year, I know what kind of game it is, and I've enjoyed playing it and revisiting a game that I hadn't touched since it came out in 2018. So the next game on the list is Sherlock Holmes Chapter 1. This was a game that I don't know, it was cheap, and it was a Sherlock Holmes game, and I thought it would be fun to play. There were some frustrations with how the mechanics work in it, and like figuring out who did what, because there's a lot of different small cases that you solve along the way as you're doing the big one. This game has got to go in the not bad. Not bad. It's not a great game, but it's not bad, and I did enjoy it. For what it is. It's not a technical marvel by any stretch. And like I said, there are some frustrations with how the mechanics work, but overall, it's not a bad game. And it's cheap. And I think there's a whole series of Sherlock Holmes games that are available that are similar to this, and, maybe worth checking out. Put your brain to work, see if you can compete with the greatest detective ever created, type of stuff. So had some fun with it, but there are some technical issues with it. So we'll put it there, not bad, because that's exactly what it is. It's not bad. It's not a bad game. We got Speedrunners up next. Speedrunners cost me maybe $4. And I'm not even totally sure why I got it, but it's fun. It's fun. It's very simplistic in its execution, so it's going to go in the not bad category. I think maybe I would have a lot more fun with it if I were playing against other people, but I don't know a whole lot. I don't know a whole lot of people that play speedrunners. And I could see how it would be more fun that way. But it is something that will pass the time from time to time. Technically, I haven't spent a ton of time on it, but I did spend enough time on it to unlock all the characters and the maps and stuff like that. So I can't really put it in need to spend more time, but so I'll put it in not bad. Next up, Marvel Spider-Man from 2018. This is a game. I love Spider-Man. When superhero video games are done right, they're great, and Spider-Man definitely falls into that category. I love Spider-Man and I love this game. And, you know, it obviously took a lot of inspiration from the Batman Arkham games, which is a series I love. And I enjoyed making the videos for YouTube that I made when I did the series. And every time I play it, I enjoy it. So I was thinking that I was going to put it in the had fun category, but I think it's got to go in the enjoyed every minute of it. The game is just too good. And me being a Spider-Man fan, you know, seeing this game come together and come out and put Spider-Man, like, they did Spider-Man right, basically. And I enjoyed it. I love the series. I will be doing the Miles Morales and Spider-Man 2 on the channel at some point. You know, I, 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 I know that I want to do them. It's just a matter of when I'm going to do them, because obviously I did Hogwarts Legacy because I had the idea of my friend starting the game and then me finishing it. And then that would have been a good time maybe to start the Miles Morales series on the channel, but instead I was like, you know what? I really want to play Kena Bridge of Spirits again, so I did that instead. But Spider-Man Miles Morales and Spider-Man 2 series are coming. They will be on the channel. I promise that, because I love Spider-Man, I love the series, and I'm looking forward to playing those games again. Next up is Star Trek Resurgence. Star Trek Resurgence is a... I don't know if it's Telltale still, because Telltale essentially went out of business, but then they came back, and I think it's owned by other people or whatever. But Telltale games were basically like, you know, choose your own adventure type things, where they have a story, but you make decisions and, you know, your gameplay kind of changes. You know, the Walking Dead series was from Telltale. They did Guardians of the Galaxy. They did Game of Thrones. They did The Wolf Among Us. Those types of games. This falls squarely in the not bad. Telltale games are what they are. You can take what you want from them. Oh yeah, there was a Batman series as well. But it's just kind of like, it's that formula. It's not groundbreaking in any way. And you know, the stories aren't bad. So it's just kind of like, yeah, it's not great, but it's not terrible either. So it falls right in the middle, and it ends up in the not bad. I probably will play it a second time to get all of the different choices, you know, play through it again, make different choices, earn trophies, blah, blah, blah type of thing. But yeah, it falls in that category. Next up is Stray Gods. Stray Gods is an interesting one because it is a musical RPG game. I think I was a little biased on this one because a lot of the cast are members of Critical Role, and I love Critical Role. And obviously they're voice actors and they do a lot of video games, but hey, it turns out they can also sing. And this is what this was. Like I said, it's a musical RPG. There's 3 different kind of versions that you can go with. And it changes the music, which I thought was very innovative, actually, to basically, not only change your experience with the game, but it changes the music as well. It's like, oh, so that it was kind of a cool idea. Again, another game that I don't think got a ton of attention for whatever reason. But it's a different type of game. It's not your typical like action game. It is mostly just a movie, because you don't really have to do much. You just have to make decisions. So it's not a very active game, but I enjoyed it, and I'm going to put it in the had fun with it, because I did have fun with it. It was my second playthrough of the game, and I tried to do things a little bit differently so I could hear different music and see the different choices. But I like the innovation of it. I like the idea that you're not just changing like the choices and what the ending will be, but you're actually also changing the music. And I think that kind of stuff, like doing things differently, like, hey, it's an RPG game, but we're going to do things a little bit differently. I like that. And I had fun with it. And I will sing the praises of Stray Gods to anyone who asks. I mean, it's not going to blow you away with its gameplay or its story for that matter, but the things that it does differently, it does very well. And I enjoyed it. Next up is Supermarket Together, another one of these cooperative games where you take on the role of a supermarket owner, you play with your friends, and you try to build up your supermarket as well as you can. I'm going to put it in the not bad. It is what it is. It's a game that can probably get a little bit repetitive because it's, you know, essentially you buy your groceries or your stock, you put it out on the shelves, and then you basically check people out. We haven't gotten very far in the game, so we haven't built it up to that point, but it's just kind of like it's the same formula as like something like Fast Food Simulator or games of that nature. I can't say that I've enjoyed every minute of it. I can say that I've had fun, but that's mostly because I'm playing with friends. So it ends up in that not bad category because that's probably where it belongs. It's not a great game, but it's not a bad game either. And I did not hate my time with it. So there you go. The next game up is Tetris Effect Connected. It's Tetris, man. Tetris is a classic. I enjoyed it when I was a kid back on the original Nintendo. There's a reason why this game has stuck around in the zeitgeist for as long as it has and sold many units for the Game Boy when it came out. There's something about it that's just fun. The Tetris Effect, it adds some really cool visual effects, and the music is very good. You can't really say too much bad about Tetris, so we're going to go ahead and put it in the had fun. Technically, I haven't spent a whole lot of time with it, but because it's Tetris, I don't really need to spend a whole lot of time with it to figure out what it is. It's just kind of like, it's one of those things where, everyone's like, the music is very soothing and the visual effects are kind of cool. So it's one of those games that maybe you put on when you're just kind of like, I don't really want to deal with much. I just want to like shut my brain off for a little bit and focus on just the shapes and stuff like that. So, but yeah, Tetris is a classic for a reason. Next up, we have Thank Goodness You're Here. This game is so stupid. It's so stupid, but it's so funny. I, there's not much to say about it. You play as a tiny character. I don't know why you're small. It doesn't make any sense. But you're sent off to another town to meet with the mayor for some reason that's never explained. And when you get there, you're told that the mayor is busy. So instead, you go out into this town and you help a bunch of strangers with their problems, but their problems are very weird. The game is full of not suitable for work type humor, which is just fine with me. But it doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but it will make you laugh. And for that, it ends up in the had fun with it. Because, it only takes probably at most 3 hours to play. And you can just enjoy it for what it is. Have fun with it, laugh at the stupidity, and, easily finish the game. So, because of the fact that it doesn't take very long and you're probably going to have a good time with it, goes in the had fun. If you don't like that type of humor, maybe it's not going to be a game for you. But, if you can enjoy that humor for what it is and just have fun with the game, uh, you'll probably enjoy it a lot more. And at 2.5 hours to 3 hours, it's not much of a time investment either. The next up is The Dig, the 1993 point and click game from LucasArts, with a little bit of Steven Spielberg sprinkled in there. Um, yeah, not a very complicated game, although at the time it was a little bit harder um, when it came out in '93. But again, this was another game that I played simply for nostalgic reasons, and I'm gonna put it in the had fun uh, section of the tier list because I did have fun with it. I don't consider it a great game. I don't think anybody who's ever played it will consider it a great game. The dialogue is cheesy and stupid, and sometimes it doesn't make any sense. But and the story may be a little bit cliched. Essentially, you're sent out to stop an asteroid from hitting the Earth, but you have secret orders to scan for any signs of alien life. You do so, and you find out that the asteroid is not an asteroid, but it's a ship, and it takes you to an alien planet. And basically, you spend your time trying to find out what has happened to this planet because it doesn't seem to have any inhabitants, and at the same time, find your way home. But there's a lot of things in it that don't make a whole lot of sense. And like I said, the dialogue is very cheesy. But again, nostalgic reasons. I had fun with it. I'm glad I played it. I'm glad I put it out there on Twitch. I may cobble together the video and upload it to YouTube. I may not. I may, if I put it on YouTube, I may just decide to play through it again separately. But there it is. Had fun with it. Next up is MLB The Show 23. Don't know why I got this game because I don't really like baseball. But I guess I was just kind of looking for a sports game to play without being Madden because I'm tired of the Madden formula. But as is usually the case with, sports games, I play it for a little while and then I just decide I want to play something else. So I don't even think I've gotten halfway through a season. Well, no, that's not true. I got through a couple of seasons with my created character. The one thing I don't like about this game is you do not have the option just to play a single season with a club, right? I just wanted to take one organization and play through an entire season, and I can't do that because you either have to do franchise, which means you have to do all the decision making and stuff like that, and I don't want to do that. I just wanted to play as one of the teams and go through a regular MLB season, and it doesn't allow you to do that. But I had fun playing with my created character. Like I said, I think I've completed like a couple of seasons. I definitely completed like the minor league stuff and got to the major leagues with my created character. So there is that. I'm gonna put it in the not bad. It's a sports game, which is kind of how I feel about all sports games. I play them for a little bit. Maybe I enjoy them, but I'm not gonna be in it for the long term. It's basically I play them for a little bit and then I get tired of them and I move on to something different. And it's happened with every single sports game I've ever bought. And for some reason I keep doing it. Thankfully, I don't do it every year like I used to, but it still happens. I have these longing for a sports game and then I buy it and then I usually end up with buyer's remorse because I I peter out on them fairly quickly, and that's what happened here. I haven't picked the game up in months, but it is like I've enjoyed it for what it is, essentially. So there you go. Next up is the new iteration of Tomb Raider, or at least fairly new, like the newest versions of Tomb Raider. So we had the Tomb Raider, and I played the remastered version. I'm going to go ahead and put it in the not bad. Maybe I'm influenced a little bit too much by Uncharted and what Uncharted is. I mentioned it a couple of times while I was playing through this. Uncharted was obviously inspired by the original Tomb Raiders, okay? And Indiana Jones as well. And then when they redid Tomb Raider, they took things that Uncharted did and they said, "Hey, we'll do it over here with Tomb Raider," which was the inspiration for Uncharted. But I prefer the Uncharted series. This definitely wasn't a bad game. I had fun while I was playing it, but it's another one of those games that I'm just kind of like, I probably won't return to it. I'm glad I played it. I had fun with it while I was playing it, but it's just kind of like nothing about it stood out to me and said, "Hey, this is a great game. This is a game you need to play again." It's just kind of like, it is what it is. It's a Tomb Raider game. Enjoy it for what it is. Have fun. Because you will. There's definitely things to like about it. But it's not a game where it's like, yeah, afterwards I was left sitting there like, "Hey, this was a great game and I'm glad I played it." It's just kind of like, or that I feel like I need to return to. And so that's kind of why it ends up where it is. Next on the list is Undisputed, which is supposed to be the spiritual successor to the Fight Night games from EA that they stopped making for some inexplicable reason. And quite honestly, I mean, I'm going to put it in the not need to spend more time with. I have spent quite a bit of time with it, but right now it's kind of a glitchy mess. And I also think that I'm not going to say, well, actually, you know what? We'll move it over to not bad. Because it is a glitchy mess, and it's also like there are things missing from it that Fight Night just flat out did better. The mini games for training are basically non-existent in this game. Essentially, you just click a button and it's like, okay, I get trained, woohoo. Whereas in the Fight Night games, you had to actually actively do something to train and to get better and to make your fighter better. And I just think they did it better than what Undisputed has done so far. And like I said, it's kind of a glitchy mess. What it does well, but there's just not enough to it. It needs more. And if they decide to continue with the series, maybe they will do more with it and make it a better game. You can if you need to scratch that Fight Night itch, it'll help. But honestly, just go play Fight Night. It's a better series, bar none. It's just better. Even though it's on older consoles, just play Fight Night. Find a version of Fight Night and play that, and you'll probably enjoy yourself a lot more. Next up, we have Valorant. Now, earlier, I talked about the fact that I am not good with mouse and keyboard, and I am not. Folks, I'm not good with mouse and keyboard. I suck at mouse and keyboard. This version of Valorant is the Valorant that came out on consoles, because I always said that I would play Valorant if they made it controller compatible. And they didn't do that. Instead, they decided to release them for console, which is great because now that is controller compatible. The problem is that everybody that I know who plays Valorant plays it on PC. And so I haven't spent a whole lot of time on this at all. I played it a little bit. I know some of the basics, and that's about it. I mean, I'll be honest, I haven't touched it in a while, and I probably won't, because this is the game that's more fun when you're playing with people that will communicate with each other, instead of like getting put into random lobbies with toxic people. So I probably won't spend more time with it, but if I really wanted to evaluate it, I'd have to spend more time with it. And that's kind of where it lies currently. And then last up, we have WWE 2K23. And this game's going to end up in the not bad. Because there's certain modes in the game that I enjoy playing, certain modes in the game that I don't enjoy playing. I'm amazed by the community and the way that they put out the characters that are for download. I think it's amazing that they do that stuff. But I mostly play GM mode. I'm glad that they brought GM mode back to the series, which is the only reason that I returned to this series. And in 2K22, they did some good things with it. And then you can see kind of like that effort in 2K23 because the GM mode in 2K23 is better. And then 2K24 was another free game from PlayStation Plus that I downloaded, but I haven't played yet. So it's one of those games where like I only like one part of it. So I can't say that I enjoy the entire game, but like what I do when I do play it, I do enjoy it. It doesn't take long to get through a full season when you're playing in GM mode. There are some things that I don't like, specifically the way that they treat specialists in the game, because it's basically like anytime you use a specialist, you're hurting yourself as far as like your ratings. And I think that's dumb because some of the best wrestlers in the game are considered specialists. So, like I said, I've enjoyed what I've played with it, but I only enjoy one mode, essentially. All right, so there is my 2024 year in gaming in review. Quite honestly, the glaring thing that this game this video shows is that I probably need to get new hobbies, because that's 42 games, and that's not even the entire list of games that I played this year. These are just the games that fall into the rules that I set for this tier list. Please feel free to discuss, comment, if you disagree with me and why you disagree with me on any particular game. But keep it nice. There's no need to get all upset if you decide to comment. This is my opinion. This is just based on the games that I played this year. I thought it was a fun exercise. I did something similar like this on my Discord back in 2021. Yeah, 2021. I did a review of the games that I played. But Discord obviously has a character limit, so I only did like 5 games. But I figured let's throw all the games out there and let's discuss. So once again, thanks for sitting through this and listening to me just spew out a bunch of facts and stuff about these games that I've played. If you've enjoyed it, please consider dropping a subscription on the channel, like the video, comment, share it, and do all of those YouTube things. And I will catch everybody next time.